in Bhakti, we did many pilgrimages. Yes, and did any of you go on a pilgrimage in Bhakti? Tirth Yatra? Yes. So many did. And so in Bhakti, the body goes on a pilgrimage. Yes. So the body has to leave home. Only then can you go on a pilgrimage. Can you sit at home and go on a pilgrimage? No. Yesterday, there was this lady and she had come and she was telling me that my husband doesn't talk to me. And I said, why? So she said, when 10 years back, I was a very big bhagat and I went on a pilgrimage which took at least 5 months. So I and my friends, we went, and 5 months we were just, from one place to another, we were just moving. And in that time, although my husband had agreed to it, when I came back, he got very tired from taking care of the household and the children and this and that. And then when I entered, he just told me, you don't care for anybody, do you? So you live with your God for whom you went. And now I and you don't have any relationship. And at that time I thought it's a temporary thing that he's saying. But it so happened that it became very permanent. And we never talked after that. And she said he just lost interest in me because of that. And then she said that, but sister, my journey continued, and that happened 10 years back. But 1 year back, I got Gyan. And then I think, he blessed me to find God. And I found Baba. And then now I am constantly on a pilgrimage. But then this is a better pilgrimage because nobody minds. Now I am at home doing everything and also on a pilgrimage. And sometimes, my children complain that, Mama, you don't even go out anywhere. But I don't need to, because my Baba has taught me to, not go out and be on a pilgrimage. And then she told me that, Didi, if I had found Baba 10 years back, then probably I and my husband would be talking, because I would be on this pilgrimage and not that. So this is an interesting sharing that happened only yesterday. And today's Baba's Murli was also very connected to this. So Baba says in Bhakti, the pilgrimage is done by the body. So you have to leave home, you have to leave everything, and then set off on a pilgrimage and you return there, okay? But here there are many differences. So Baba says that this pilgrimage is a spiritual pilgrimage. The soul does it. So the body can stay where it is. So you can live in the household, do everything, but be on a pilgrimage. But then if the soul has to be on a pilgrimage, there has to be soul consciousness. Yes, because how can you be on a pilgrimage without, being in the consciousness of the one who is on the pilgrimage? So Baba says the first effort that we need for this Ruhani Yatra or this Yad Ki Yatra is to be soul conscious. Because in Bhakti, when you are conscious that I am a Bhagat and God is there on the mountain, then you have so much love for God that you set off and go to the mountain and see him or see his image. You don't see him, of course, but see an image which is told it is God's image, and you love it and you do it with a lot of love. But Baba says here, it's not about any physical thing. It's about the soul realizing in soul consciousness that this is my Baba and he is in the soul world, and with that love for Baba I will undertake this pilgrimage all the time. But when will you have love for Baba? When you're soul conscious. Otherwise you cannot undertake this pilgrimage. Now, what is soul consciousness? So you see that there is so much body consciousness that it is very difficult to arrive at soul consciousness, because everything that we think about all through the day, whatever awareness we are in, is all body consciousness. Yes, so you are aware of the body, the work you do, the things you have, the relationships around you. Everything is body consciousness. Your aims, desires, ambitions, everything in the old world is body conscious. And what is soul consciousness? So when you understand that I'm an actor and I'm completely different or detached from my role. So there is this role, this birth, the details of the role, the character I play in this birth. So you play a certain character, that character has a name. So have you seen an actor has a character and that character has a name, and that character is not the actor. Yes, so you have a certain character to play in this drama, and in this scene, which is in this birth, you're wearing that costume, you are having that name, you're playing that character all day, and that character has many facets. That character has work, that character has labels, that character has relationships, but they are all the work, the relationships, everything of the character, not yours. Yes? Yes, whose relationships are they? They are not your relationships. They are the relationships of the character you play. Do you understand this? Yes? Not your children. Yes? Whose children? The children of the character you play. Would you say they are children of the soul? No. The children of Trupti Ben ya Shilpa Ben, yes? So, whose children? The character, the children of the character you play. Yes, so that is, so when you understand that I am separate and every character that I play is separate. Okay, so when you detach yourself from the character, then who are you? You are just a soul at the end of your 84 births, and it is time to go back. Your Baba is here. So your only job is to listen to Baba, follow his Srimad, remember him, hold his hand all the time. And what is Baba's hand? Srimad. So hold Baba's hand, walk with him, be with him, follow him, and then get ready to go back. This is my job as a soul. And then the character I play is different. So in soul consciousness, I also play my character, but then as soon as I detach from it, I become soul conscious. Okay, and is soul conscious and Atam Abhimani? Yes, they are the same. Okay, so Baba says that this is how you become soul conscious. And when you become soul conscious, then who do you remember? It is I the soul and my Baba. Baba is my world. So when you're soul conscious, your buddhi will automatically go to Baba. And Baba says, you keep yourself at this journey. Yes, and have you seen that when pilgrims, so these days, pilgrimage is more about holidaying and entertainment and fun. But earlier, pilgrimage used to be done with a lot of devotion, and pilgrims used to go barefoot and walk, miles and miles and reach the destination. So once a pilgrim sets off, then they have the urgency to reach the aim. So Baba says they don't stop, they only stop to take some rest and recharge, but they are continuously on the journey. They want to cover as much ground as they can. So Baba says similarly, we spiritual pilgrims have to be on this continuous journey of pilgrimage. Yes, our pilgrimage has to be continuous. All the time, when you take a break to play your character, okay. But then even at that time, you have to keep that awareness, so that it doesn't get shaken. And then as soon as you get relieved from it, again go on a journey. So sit in the remembrance of Baba. And what is our aim? Our aim is to be completely bodiless so that we can go back home. So the more and more we are soul conscious, so you see that when it is the time to go home, it is your state of being which determines where you will go. So if you see the aim, it is arriving at that frequency which is in alignment with the frequency of the soul world. Okay, so I have to be completely pure, peaceful and bodiless. And that we will become by being soul conscious and constantly remembering Baba. And Baba says, so take this pilgrimage seriously. And then the second thing that Baba says, which is very interesting, you also keep earning on this pilgrimage. Yes. So do you understand that when people set off on a pilgrimage in bhakti, they spend everything they have earned. Okay, they have earned everything and then they spend it and then they go on a pilgrimage. But in this pilgrimage, you earn while you are on the pilgrimage. And Baba says that Baba's remembrance is like putting a zero. And when a 0 is added to 1, it becomes 10. And then you add another 0 to 10, it becomes 100. So a pilgrimage is like that. The more you are soul conscious, you remember Baba, the more you earn. Now, why is it important to understand this point of earning? Because, the character you're playing right now is the character of an indebted soul. You see, you're basically a person struggling to pay off your debts in this world. And the more earning you have through this spiritual pilgrimage, the more spiritual income you earn, it will get easier to pay off your debts. So it not only helps you, the soul, in your spiritual journey, but even in the character you're playing, it helps you because you have more currency to pay off your debts. Yes, so have you seen that every day at least 10 people who you have taken debt from arrive at you? And then they keep asking you for, more patience or, more tolerance, more humility from you. And you need that currency to play that character well. Yes. And there was this one sister who was yesterday asking me that, Didi, you see, there are many people who want to talk to you sometimes, and then when you don't respond because you don't have the time or anything, then they get hurt. Then does that hurt you? She was asking about herself, and then she was asking me whether a similar situation happens to me and whether I get hurt in it. So I said, no, see, it is not my duty to fulfill everybody's expectation. So, but people are entitled to their expectation. I cannot say that you are wrong in expecting. So I do as much as I can, and when I can't do, I give good wishes. Yes, so I give good wishes. So, there will always be situations where other people's expectations of you cannot be met by you because there is no time, there is no situations are not favorable. But then you can always satisfy them with your good wishes. So even if they are hurt, you can put the balm of good wishes on them. So Baba says this is a pilgrimage on which you earn also. So it helps you. If somebody could earn on a pilgrimage, so just take it to the physical dimension. So there is a person who goes on a pilgrimage in bhakti, and he can earn on a pilgrimage. Then he can always be on the pilgrimage and take care of the family also. Can't they? Yes, they can do both of them. So Baba says that is not possible in bhakti because you don't earn on a pilgrimage. And people who earn on a pilgrimage, they only earn, they are not on the pilgrimage. Because their awareness of the whole process is that this is for me to earn. But Baba says for you, it is very beautiful because the more honest your pilgrimage, the more sincere your spiritual pilgrimage, the greater the income. And then that income will help you to play your character very well. Yes. And what is the most beneficial aspect of playing our of the income that we get from this pilgrimage? The most beneficial aspect is that you will have to do less and you will get more. So because everything you do has more power in it. So you will have to spend less thoughts, less words, less doing, less involvement. But then, they will receive more because you are in that full state. So Baba says this is why it will help you settle your accounts, or it will help you take care of everything in an easy manner because you're full from inside. So whatever you do has to be less and you will get more benefit out of it. Okay, and this is why Baba says that, so in Sunday's class there was a question that how do we know if our yoga is right and whether we are meditating right? And then Bhai was answering it, and he said that when all your karma is accurate, then you know that your yoga is right. So every karma, so Baba has said that Yog Yukt means Yukti Yukt. Yukti Yukt means accurate karma. What is accurate? You don't do less than necessary, don't do more than necessary. When you do more than necessary, it is out of attachment. When you do less than necessary, it is because of the body consciousness which makes you neglect. But when you When you're soul conscious, when you're on the pilgrimage of remembrance, then all your actions are accurate. Just what is required, that much you do. And today, Baba in the Murli gives 6 signs of a good yogi. So, somebody has asked me the signs of soul consciousness, or how do I know whether I'm soul conscious? When you are in soul consciousness, you will remember Baba, and the signs of a good yogi are explained in the Murli today. Yes? So, the signs are, first is they are very mature and sensible. They are very mature and sensible. What is maturity? Maturity is a very interesting word. In Hindi it is called Gambhirta. And what is maturity? Maturity is, Baba sometimes says that the plays and tantrums of childhood. So, when children are young, they throw tantrums. So, you don't throw any tantrums. You're very mature. You understand the importance. You have experience. Experience is a big part of maturity. You have experience about, who are you, who you belong to, and what needs to be done in every situation. And Baba says this is the sign of a good yogi. You're very mature and sensible. Are you mature and sensible? Or do you later think that what I did was very childish? I was a stupid soul to do that. No, you're knowledgeful, you do things with experience, you have spiritual gravity inside you, and everything you do is very sensible. And when you're sensible, what is the opposite of sensible? Sensitive. So when you're sensitive, you're not sensible. When you're sensitive, you will do more or less than necessary. But when you're mature, you will do exactly what the situation needs, what the person needs. You will give them enough. And then, so have you seen that sometimes we behave the opposite of mature and sensible? And let me give an example of that. So there was this one sister, and she was sharing that when I'm good to people, I'm very good to people. And when I'm hurt, I just pull away. So that is immature and insensible. Yes? So you don't have to be very good, and you don't have to be pull away. When you're saying very good, it is not coming naturally. You're making an effort to be good. Yes? So don't make an effort to be good. You're good anyway. So be yourself. Engage in the capacity that you can sustain. And then, even if you don't receive the equal reciprocation, it is all right. You continue to be yourself, because anyways you are not taxing yourself in being you. Yes, so but if you're taxing yourself in being you, then you will have to pull away when the reciprocation doesn't come, because you're feeding on the other person's reciprocation then. So if they are not reciprocating, then you can't do extra every time. So, but then if you are yourself, you're mature, you know who you are, you know what's your quality, you know how you have to talk, then you can always be yourself, despite the other person having mood swings and behaving sometimes like this, sometimes like that. Okay, so this is something. So first sign, but these are signs of souls who constantly are on a spiritual pilgrimage. So they can't come just like that. Yes, so, and just like you have to cook a meal to see its color and flavor and taste it, Similarly, you have to be on the pilgrimage to experience this stage. Intellectually, I will try to explain it to you, you will try to get it, but that will not give you the taste of it. The taste of this state is very beautiful. But in order to arrive at that taste, you have to cook it on your own. And how do you cook it? By constantly being soul conscious and being on a pilgrimage of remembrance. So they are very mature and sensible. They always remain peaceful. Come what may, you are always peaceful. Because you know that this drama will go on, but I am with Baba and I am peaceful. So this is the point. Then the second thing, they do not have any impure arrogance. Now let me tell you, there are three things. There is pure arrogance, there is impure arrogance, and there is lack of either. There are three situations, yes? And the first thing, impure arrogance, is that you have a lot of, you appear to be, having a lot of self-esteem, but that self-esteem is based on what you have and what you do. So that's why that self-esteem is very prone to attack. And that self-esteem gives you a lot of fear and uncertainty rather than certainty. So that is impure arrogance. Yes, so if you are, if you have built your self-respect on what you have and what you do, then it is always very prone to attack, because every time somebody has more than you or does more than you, then you feel thwarted and threatened and insulted. Yes, so that is impure arrogance. Second is pure arrogance. You are in arrogance of who you are as a soul. Yes, you have the intoxication that I belong to Baba. I am a deity soul, I am a Brahmin soul. And this gives you, this is never prone to attack, because this Swaman has been given by God and nobody can take it away. Yes, nobody can tell you you don't belong to Baba, because Baba has told you you belong to me and Baba doesn't take it away. You can only spoil your pure arrogance by your own karma. Nobody can take it away, nobody can threaten it. And this is why it is a source of power in you. And it gives you, your intellect, your sanskar, a lot of power. That is why with this pure arrogance, you have better discernment, you have better decision making, your sanskars are purer, everything works better with this pure arrogance. And I will also tell you a third situation where there is neither impure arrogance nor pure arrogance. Then what do you become? You become a doormat who becomes the, who everybody kicks and throws here and there. But then you don't understand that you need to do something about this state, because you don't even understand your own dignity, and you don't understand that what you should do, what you shouldn't do, where you should stop, where you should withdraw, where you should engage. You don't understand all of those things. And sometimes this situation also is very prevalent these days, when people have neither ego nor self-esteem. So this is why it is very important to not have ego, but it is equally important to have self-esteem. Self-esteem which comes from Baba, which comes from knowing who you are, which comes from following Srimad. because that self-esteem gives you that state of the soul, gives you discernment of when to engage, when to withdraw, what to say, what to not say, everything. These boundaries come from Swaman. But if there is no self-esteem, there is no ego. Sometimes ego also makes you put the boundaries, but in the wrong place. Ego makes you put the boundaries in the wrong place. So ego based, when you are in fear, you will avoid everybody, or when you are hurt, you will say sorry to nobody, or you will not engage with anybody. So ego also makes you put boundaries, but in the wrong place. Self-esteem makes you put boundaries in the right place. But you cannot have self-esteem without Baba and Murli. Okay? So self-esteem makes you put boundaries in the right place. And where there is neither ego nor self-esteem, where there is neither impure arrogance not pure, then what happens? Then you don't have any boundaries, and that is a very big problem. And basically, these days, there are majority of youth, I would say, who have neither ego nor self-esteem. And that's why their boundaries are all blurred. And most of the, middle-aged and upper-aged, they have ego. So this is what is the condition. So Baba says, any soul who is soul conscious and on the pilgrimage of remembrance will have this sign, that you don't have impure arrogance, you have pure Shuddha Nasha about who you are. Then the third thing is, they do not like anything except having remembrance of the Father. So do you know that like has an opposite, dislike? So if you have likes, you will also have dislikes. Baba says two things in the Murli. Baba says, don't have ichha, don't have desires. Okay? So usually desire is a word we use for something that we don't have and we want. So Baba says, don't have desires, one thing. Second is, don't say ye acha lagta hai. Sometimes people say that I don't have any desire, but this is something I have and I like it. Okay, maybe I like this person who I have, or I like this job that I have. But the thing is, if you like something and you like your life because that is in it, then you will hate your life when that is gone. And everything will be gone. Everything will change. This is the law of nature. That is why Baba says, yogi souls don't like or dislike anything. You don't like anything, you don't dislike anything. You are neutral about anything. It is what it is and it is good enough. And Baba says, they only like what? Remembering Baba. They only like being with Baba. And being with Baba, they can always do, so there is no problem with that. So this is the third sign of a yogi soul. Then the fourth sign is, they speak very little and very softly. So, until and unless you are there to speak knowledge, you always speak little and softly. So you don't go into discussions and arguments and explanations and all of that. So in your day-to-day existence, speaking little, speaking softly, that's the key. They perform every action through signals. They do not speak or laugh loudly. These are all signs of body consciousness. Okay. Then fifth is, their behavior is very, very royal. they have the intoxication of being the child of God. What is royal behavior? Yes, so when the behavior is royal, that means they don't want anything, their eyes don't linger on anything. Yes, and they have the intoxication that I have Baba, I have everything. I have everything with me. I have Baba and Baba is my world. So they are very royal, they are not attracted to anything. So that's royalty. Then sixth is they live with one another with a lot of love. Because you see that one of the signs of soul consciousness is when you are in self-respect, you respect others. Yes? And when you respect others, you can live in harmony with others. Because the first sign of love, spiritual love, is mutual respect. So, and mutual respect doesn't mean they respect me, so I will respect them. No. You start it. When you are respectful, then the other will follow. So Baba says, when you're soul conscious, you respect and accept people as they are. And in that, there is an exchange of positive energy, there is harmony. And then you are not in loggerheads with anybody. You accept them as they are, they accept you as you are. It takes time, but this situation will arrive. They never become like salt water. Salt water, when salt water is heated, then the salt and water get separated. So whenever there is an argument, whenever there is anger, then there is, you feel like you're not one with them. So that's not the state you should be in. You should be like sugar and milk. So sugar and milk, even if you heat it, they don't separate. Yes, you cannot separate sugar from the milk by heating it. So Baba says, even when there is difference of opinion, whatever, but that harmony, that love, that respect is not lost. That should be the situation. And then the Baba says their way of speaking is very first class. Yes, and what is first class speaking? Less speaking, soft speaking, and sweet speaking, and accurate words. Kam, dhire, meetha, and yukti yukt. So the speaking has to be less, it has to be soft, it has to be sweet, and it has to be accurate. This is the speaking, the qualifications of how yogi souls would speak. So these are the signs, and I have told you the method that Baba discussed, the signs that come. So now practice and check whether you have the signs or not. Okay, Om Shanti.